Called to Serve features real stories from police officers. Episodes may include descriptions of traumatic events, including physical harm, death, emotional experiences, or other sensitive topics. Discretion is advised.
I'm Sergeant Angie Tetley,
And I'm the best part of your day, Constable Brennan Martin.
and this is Called to Serve.
Let's go.
Previously on Part 1.
You must have felt like this was for you.
Really, I mean, I've got 30 years on. I still love coming to work. I really do. I
Yeah,
enjoy what
it
I
shows.
do. And the job is what you make it, right? But there's a certain sides of policing, like public order, dealing with demonstrations, protests, major stuff that's in the public eye, removal of human remains, extensive homicide searches, and constantly being in the public eye and the media eye that, you know, there's only a few people on the job that do it.
Yeah.
And for me, I love that.
We now return to Part 2 of Called to Serve with Sergeant Rich Wall.
And one of the things I was telling the guys every single day, so every single day we do the same briefing, meet them in the same location, do the same briefing, and I'd always finish it. There is a family by a phone
Yeah.
waiting for a call
Yeah.
to say that we found their loved one. So whatever we do, I mean, in search management, whether it's a missing person or it's a homicide search, it's all about closure. If their loved one has got Alzheimer's and they're walking somewhere around in Northwest Calgary and we have to locate them, if it's high risk and it's got to search management, it's an emergency. So
Totally.
we have to find them, right? Whether it's lack of medication, whether it's a mental health issue, or whether they're like a child or a nonverbal autistic person, we have to find them.
Right
Because
now.
if we don't, the fallout is they could die.
For sure.
Right? And so we do everything we possibly can to find them. And it's all about closure, right? You know, when we find someone, you know, and we find them in 10 minutes. Or we've done files where, like we just had one recently in 4th District. A young lad was stabbed, right? And I mean, it's still ongoing. You know, when you're tasked to find the following items and you find it all, that's
Yeah.
satisfying. And we've also done files where we don't just use trained searchers within PSU. We use Calcera, Calgary Search and Rescue, a huge part of what we do.
Yes.
They're just amazing people.
Volunteers.
Volunteers, yeah.
Unreal, that leave their jobs when we call and they come to us. And we use patrol members as well. And we have trained patrol members, and that's going to continue as well, hopefully. So it's all about closure, where we're looking for evidence to give to homicide, for them to continue with their investigation, to form a prosecution, to charge and convict someone. That's what we do, closure. If we're finding a missing person, closure. So that's very important. So search management, we're kind of like, we're always in the background. We also bring a lot of relief to incident commanders as well,
For sure.
right? So when that authority to 2100 is made and we get the phone call and we say, have you considered the following? Here's some reflex tasking. No, we didn't. Think about this. Have you done your 400-meter search? Have you done this? And that helps. And normally we get a phone call say they've been located. And sometimes they're found outside the city. Sometimes they're way outside of the 400-meter area, wherever it may be. But it's all about closure. So yeah.
Like this particular file, like the Lickness O'Brien one, this was very high profile. And it obviously had an awful traumatic end to it. And
Yeah.
so you guys spending 21 weeks or whatever doing this like fingertip search for biological evidence.
Yeah.
Like that's got to have a major toll on you. Like you are taking it personally because you're trying to help
Yeah,
this
for
family.
sure.
So I'm curious how you deal with that, like the trauma and the like, you know, just getting through these really, really challenging
Yeah.
files. Like I've heard stories, I was not involved in that, but
Yeah.
the things that you found and you saw
Yeah.
on that farm would wreck people.
Yeah,
so
for
how
sure.
do you deal with that?
For me, it's a general interest. For me, it's part of the job, and I very much enjoy that. I love the fact that I'm part of that. Recently, we just had a very traumatic call in 2 District with a loss of a young lady, very involved file, very, very traumatic call for the members. I was first through the door with the members, and then we do the debrief. And I was asked the same question. And the way I look at it is this. When I deal with that call, I will deal with it, and I kind of get ribbed for it because I write a lot of notes and I do everything meticulously. Going on beyond is something that,
That does not surprise me.
okay.
Shocker.
But when it's all done and dusted and I've done everything I can walk away from that job to say I've done it to the best of my abilities within the training that I have, and there's nothing more I can do on that file. So when I'm driving home, in my mind, I am like, I'm the best person to be on that call. I wanted to be on that call.
I like that.
And that's what I said to the members. No one else, I said to the members in that room, we all went through that door. What we saw was horrific. We dealt with the children. We looked after them. We dealt with the dog. We dealt with the family. We dealt with everything. I would not want to be on that call with any other group of people than the people sitting in this room. That is what we were built for. That's what we're here for. And we've walked away from that call with our heads held high. Yes, there may be fallout from the point of view of it may affect us, but we have a huge amount of backing in the service from psych services and within our own team and the way that we talk about it. And even just talking about it now helps, right? You're venting it all the time. So I'm always very open about what I deal with. And I think talking about it and venting it about it and going through it and these debriefs are very important. With things like human remains recovery and things like searches, post-detonation bomb blast areas, working, with having knives poured on you and stuff like that, threats to your life. It's, for me, to take something away from it to say that I was the best person to be on that call. That's why I was there. There's a reason why I was there. So I did my job properly. I dealt people with dignity. I went on and beyond the call. I documented it properly. It might be this much work that I end up doing in a file this big, but I can walk away to say I did that job to the best of my ability, and there's no one else better to do it.
I like what you said, Rich, about you being the best guy for the job, because it comes from experience, it comes from confidence. But there's something else that you're doing on that call that I don't think that you put any thought to, or if you have, please feel free to let me know. So as you know, back when we all first got on, there was a fair bit of stigma for discussing things that were a challenge for you or for seeing our psych services. So the fact that you already say that you're the best guy for the call, check, totally agree. The fact that you have the experience, check, 100% agree. But the secondary benefit that you're providing to those junior members is that, one, it's okay to talk about what you saw, what bothers you, and if something bothers you, we have an amazing psych services here at the Calgary Police Service. I actually think that we have the best.
I would agree with that.
I actually consider it a Calgary advantage because our service is very invested in the mental health for our members. So you're actually hitting a whole bunch of boxes at the same time.
Mentoring as well is something I really enjoy on the job. So when we deal with a hot call, we deal with a call that's a bit spicy, dealing with junior members, addressing those questions at the scene. Do you know why we did this? No. This is the reason why. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So when we deal with searches, there's a lot of stuff we do within search management and even within PSU that normal general duty don't know what we do or why we do certain things. And one of the things I really like is to explain that to people. So if they're like, so why did you search that piece of land twice? Because we have two search areas next to each other. So we overlap by 1 meter.
Yeah.
So we know it's definitely done. Oh, I never knew that.
Makes sense.
So, one of the things that I like to do is when we do searches within district is if I can jump on them and help coordinate them, it allows members to pick up those skills that they can take forward for their own search warrants.
They
or
will not
searching
forget that because reps matter.
Exactly, reps matter, right? It's muscle memory. So that's one of the things I really like doing. We don't just do calls from homicide or missing persons or what have you. Like recently, we just did a really good drug warrant in 2 districts and recovered 150 grams worth of fentanyl in a house. They asked me to come along as a search manager. We used general duty members from mountain bike within the CRO office and general duty. We went in with an objective to locate that dope, and we went and found it. And we took and the thing about searching as well is not going into a house and you see on movies where they're literally throwing stuff out of. That's not how you search houses. No. That's not how you do it. You go in and you search it. You either put it back as you found it, or even better. And within search management, we've done, when we've searched suspects' houses, when we did Talaya Mars, when that little girl and her mum that was murdered, and we located her body was located east of the city. I was searching the suspect's house. We don't just walk into a house and search it. We search into a house, right? And then we assess that house for damage and everything. And then we systematically task members to search that house, fingertip or whatever that is, the extent or whatever the level is. And it's normally very minute when we start searching. Yeah. We have a list of things that we're going to search for, and away we go. And if it takes 6 hours to do a bedroom, it takes 6 hours to do a bedroom.
I like that style. When I was in the drug unit, we did something very, very similar. It was very slow. It was very systematic. There was a way of doing things so that you can record the evidence that you searched and the manner in which you searched it, and obviously with a bunch of video, because that's the best practice to be able to get the best evidence to be able to bring into court.
And that's another thing that I brought with PSU. So with Public Safety Unit, the evidence gathering teams that I used to work on within the UK, we didn't have that here in Calgary. So Dylan Harris and I were EGs in the UK. We brought that to Canada. And so we created the EG team within PSU. And one of our big sayings is the best evidence for the worst offences. And so all these protests that you're seeing right now, all those members that you're seeing with those cameras, Dylan and I trained them. And so we're the most deployed EG team within Canada for public order. Like 50
What's EG?
Evidence gathering. So they're the public order members that you see with video and stills cameras that go to these events that hold the public and police to account for their actions, right?
You were in Ottawa in 2022, I think for another PSU event, right?
Yeah, I was there so when we got deployed out to Ottawa for the convoy stuff,
And then that sort of allowed you to enter into the next challenge in your life. Did you want to talk about that?
Yeah, just shortly after cancer. Yeah, for sure.
Cancer, So you up until now we've talked about like you're a very sort of selfless person, and you're constantly like giving your time and your energy to help other people. And so at this time in your life, I wanted to transition to that, just like BM said, like this was a very personal challenge for you. So if you feel good talking about it, I'd love to hear.
absolutely. Very open
Angela
about
and
it.
I were talking about it afterwards.
Very open
and we
about
were
it.
just very swept away by the challenges.
It's
that
a
you
bit of a
had.
crazy story, really. So I don't even drink and I don't even smoke. I'm a pretty active person. I'm a big cyclist. I'm a big photographer. I'm always out and about doing my thing. My wife's a big marathon runner. We're always traveling, that sort of thing. And I'd been out in the UK, seeing my mum and my sister, and I sort of picked up this cough and it wouldn't go away. And I don't mean like a little cough. I'm talking about like cough to exhaustion. It was like within a day it started. And it wouldn't go away. And I came back, I saw my doctor, and she's like, oh, maybe you have something, some antibiotics, what have you. And it just would not go away. And then we went out to London. My wife ran the marathon out there. And I was in London. I was on the tube. I had the date myself. So I'm on the tube, and all of a sudden it was like a hot needle going right through my side. I thought, what is this? This is bad.
Yeah.
I don't like this. So I went back to the apartment we'd rented and kind of went away. And I had this itchy patch of skin on my left leg. It just wouldn't go away. And I thought, what is going on? So came back, did the PSU course. I had COVID, got COVID when I came back from London. Ugh. Did the PSU course and lots of fatigue. Thought, this is weird. So I go and see my doctor, and she's like, maybe you've got something pressed on your throat. Okay. And I just couldn't stop coughing. So I go to get an ultrasound. And, you have an ultrasound, and they're like, thanks very much. Get out.
That's it.
Ain't done, get out. And the girl went, can you just wait? And I thought, okay. And she's like, you have 2 lymph nodes in your neck that are huge. You need to see a doctor. I said, well, I'm seeing my doctor on Tuesday. Urgently. You need to go see a doctor. Okay. Sounds good. So this pain I'd had in my side was like on and off and on and off and on and off, and it wouldn't go away. And it was like a Monday night, and my wife and I went to Canmore for dinner, and it got worse. And I will admit this, I'm a complete child with needles. I'm not good with needles, man. I'm really not good with needles. And she's like, you need to go. I think I've got a hernia. Yeah. She's like, you need to go in. I'm like, nah, I'll be all right, I'll be fine. And then eventually she convinces me in. I go into the Rocky View, and I sat there for 9 hours. And I had the worst experience because I had a needle. I had to have a needle, so they do my blood, and I sit there, and I said, I think I've got a hernia. And they're like, you don't get hernias down there, mate. Because this was right down in my right side.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
I was like, okay. When I came out that ultrasound, I sat in my truck, and I thought, I think I'm about to enter in a dark patch here. I think this is going to be bad. So they send me off for an MRI. I have a CT scan, and they put me in a side room. About 3 hours later, I was in a room with about 5 other people. It was pitch black, and I opened the door, and the guy came in. I couldn't even see him. He's like, how you doing, Richie? I'm like, I'm all right. He's like, I'm going to tell you something now, and I'm sorry to tell you this, brother, but you've got double cancer. And I'm like, I'm sorry. What? He's like, you have a tumor the size of a fist in your lower bowel, and your blood has come back for lymphoma. you have blood cancer. Ugh. So my wife had gone home at that point, and I was like, okay. He's like, listen, we're going to get this sorted out for you. I'm like, okay. He's like, I've got some people on the way. This was like 4:30 in the morning. So I texted my wife. I said, you better come in. And it still really didn't dawn on me what had actually happened. So my wife, Sue, comes in, and at that point, I sort of kind of fell apart at that point. I'm pretty open about it. I was just sitting on the bed like a mess, really. And I laid there for about an hour. I FaceTimed my mum and my sister in the UK and said, look, this is not good. I've got blood cancer, I've got lymphoma, and I've got bowel cancer. So my mum and my sister were like, okay, like, sorry, that's all I got. And then the surgeon team came in, and he's like, so we've got to get that thing out of you. And I'm like, listen, I'm pretty much a realist. I need to know what's going on here.
Yeah.
He's like, we've got to get you upstairs. You're critical. You're not doing good. You're a mess inside, and we need to get you upstairs. So they flip me upstairs. They get me up at unit 84, and they put me on hydromorphine, and for about a day.
This is the same day?
They literally get me straight upstairs, and they put me on drips because they're going to go into a dirty part of the body, right? So they sort of like pump me full of hydromorphone and what have you. And then early the next morning, they're like, let's go. So they get me downstairs, and they get me into the op room, and they take this thing out. They took 12 inches of colon. They took 6 inches either side, plus the actual, the tumor. And it came out clean.
Unreal.
So I did 17 days in hospital. I was on a liquid diet. I dropped like 30
What's
pounds.
going through your mind at this time? Because you went from, you were in Ottawa, you come back, you do the PSU course, and then you receive this information. Like, what, if anything, is going through your mind, or are you completely numb?
I was just devastated, to be honest with you, mate. I, as a person that goes into chaos and brings sort of calm to people, right?
Yes.
And we're used to controlling things. We're trying, I had no control of this, and it absolutely petrified me. I didn't know what to do. People will tell you that I wasn't a normal bubbly Richie. I was a mess. My inspector at the time, Shannon Scott, was at my bedside pretty quickly. Bless him, he was awesome.
Didn't you say that he came with your paperwork for insurance? And
he came with all the paperwork.
With some money from the district for your wife's parking?
He turned up with like about $500 to pay for all the parking for my wife, and he came with all the sort of like the insurance claim paperwork. Like, he was fantastic. My sergeant, Sean Bowen, turned up. He's a great guy.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Sean's an amazing fella.
But like,
they saw me at my worst for sure. Like, I was laying in bed. I didn't know what to do because I was on like the noises and smells unit, as I called it, right? Colorectal unit. There's all these people around me. They're having all these different things, and I was just in the corner, just kind of falling apart, really. And then I got to sort of day 16, and my hematologist came in. An amazing person called Dr. Leslie Street. She comes in. She's like, do you have an itchy piece of skin? Yeah.
Do you have an itchy piece of skin? She asked. Yeah.
I'm like, yep. Did you have a cough? Yep. Have you got any colour in your feet? No. Okay, so you have stage 4 type B cell diffuse lymphoma. And all I heard was stage 4.
Yeah. Scary.
And I'm like, okay, so what's the deal? She's like, 1, 2 means it's in one place. 3, 4 just means it's in other parts of your body. Doesn't mean you're stage 4, you're going to die. So she says, basically, your lymphatic system is fighting cancer. You have multiple lymph nodes throughout your body that are inflamed and swollen. And you're going to need at least a minimum of 6 rounds of chemotherapy when you come out. And it's actually good news. And I was like, because when my surgeon's like, it's lymphoma type B cell. And he was like smiling at me. And I'm like, hello, you're smiling,
happy.
mate. Like, hey, you're smiling. He's like, it's good news. It's potentially curable. All right. Whatever. It just went over my head.
Totally.
So she's like, I came out. I did 2.5 weeks at home. I'd had Christmas, and I love Christmas. I'm a Christmas kid.
Doesn't Santa?
I love Christmas. I'm not a Halloween person or a New Year guy, but I am a Christmas guy. And I was very open about it. My 2.5 weeks at home were probably the worst time of my life. I would sit on the sofa, just look at the TV, just fall apart. I didn't know what to do. It was the great unknown, right? Yeah. I was very open about it. People would come to the house and see me, and I was just a mess. And just thinking, how do I get through this? I have no control over this. I'm in the hands of others. I don't know what's going on. I've not had my full diagnosis yet. And between Christmas and New Year, I've got to go and see this hematologist. So I got a punch pass to a sports centre near where I live. And so I was just walking slow laps of all the old ladies, every day just to get moving.
They probably loved it.
Well, they opened me up. I've got like an 18-inch hole in the front of me, which I was also recovering from. Obviously, they took my appendix. They took 12 inches of my colon. They took it all apart, right? So my wife did everything she could to try and make me as comfortable as possible through Christmas. I was a bit of a mess at that point. So I go and see the hematologist, and our former police chief, his daughter was my cancer nurse.
Wow.
Brittany Barlow. So I sit there and she's like, you don't look too good. I'm like, no.
I don't feel too good.
I don't feel too good. Like mentally, I'm smashed. I've never been like this in my life. Like, you can give me anything, I'll deal with it. But I can't deal with this. Like, how do I deal with this? Mm-hmm. She's like, well, you have a 91% chance of cure. And then right there, that's when it changed. Right there.
Yeah.
It was like a light went on. I'm like, I have a 91% chance of cure? I didn't know this. She's like, yeah, you have type B cell lymphoma. You're going to go through 6 rounds of chemotherapy, intensive, 21 days apart. You're going to come and see me, get your bloods done if you're good, the following Monday, chemo. 21 days, and we're going to go until we get this done. And there was a lady who came in. She went out, and a lady came in who was a nurse, and she's like, oh, you got lymphoma? I've had that. You had bowel cancer? I've had that. I've had thyroid cancer. Like, you're going to beat this. And I'll never forget it, what she said to me. She's like, you're going to go on to live a beautiful life.
Oh, that's awesome.
And right there was like, boom, let's go. You do the fixing, I'll do the doing, my wife will do the admin. And I literally I came out and I power walked to the car.
That's a PSU plan.
And I already had the plan in my head, 10,000 steps a day. Every single day I'm going to walk. I walk nearly every single community of this city. I live near Cochrane, and I walked all around Cochrane, walked around Airdrie, I walked around Chestermere, I'd park the car, 10,000, then 12,000, then 15,000 steps every single day. I'm a big photographer, camera in the bag, let's go. And I'd walk every single day. I'd get up, have my breakfast, go walk every day. And that was my plan. And I treated it kind of like a deployment for PSU.
Yeah.
The preparation for chemo was game day. So I had my first chemotherapy, which took 8 hours because they slowly put it into you to see if there's any problems, right? No issues. I didn't have anything. I never threw up once. I had the nausea. Believe me, I had the nausea. All my hair fell out. Like, I was bald as a coot. So I'm walking around.
Bald as a what?
Bald as a coot. It's a bird. Anyway, so I'm walking around.
I don't know what that is.
And I just walk. That's all I could do. And then once I was strong enough, back on the bike.
Yeah.
Back on the bike, but walking was my main thing. And then I'd go and get my blood test done, and that was a big thing for me because I hated needles. I've had 50 of them now. I'm a lot better now, but I get through that, and then I start doing the chemo. And then keep moving. And then going in and saying, right, what's next? Chemo in 21, you're going for chemo Monday. Good, done, boom, let's get it done. I'd have the nausea for 2 days, keep walking. And then I get to the end of my 3rd round, and I have a PET test, which is to check me from head to toe. And they couldn't find a thing. Nothing.
Amazing.
They find nothing in the body. My blood cancer's gone. All my lymph nodes are reduced. And I'm like, okay, but we ain't stopping here, right? We've got to go till 6. They're like, sure, absolutely. Let's go. So we keep going. I keep going. I do my 6.
Is that part of what they do anyway, or was that your request?
They do a halfway sort of progress. Okay. So she's like, I'm so glad you said that, because some people are like, it's done. Okay, I'm out of here. I don't need to do no more chemo, and people walk out the door.
Yeah.
So I just kept going and keep that positive mindset. Like, for me, mindset's a massive part of this. Like, I was smashed mentally. As soon as I was told you have 91% chance, I like those odds. Let's keep this going. Okay, now I have my part to play. So my plan is that I will keep going, mentally strong, walk every day, keep positive, keep everything toxic out of my life. Like, I kick people off Facebook, you name it. I did everything I could do to just keep clean, eat well, sleep well, and go. And then game day, chemo, and then repeat.
Gotcha.
Chemo, then repeat, and just keep doing it. And that's what I did.
So you're done.
So I came out my 6 weeks, and then my wife went around the Boston Marathon because she's a big runner. And so I just did my thing, and she came back from Boston, and I got chemo. I got COVID.
COVID, yeah.
Oh, geez.
With the, immune system of a baby
Already
deer,
low.
so it crushed me. I was on Paxlovid. So it didn't go any further, but I got through that. And then basically my immune system had to build up. So I took the rest of the summer off, and I returned back to 2 District in the November.
How long were you off work
11
for?
months.
11,
I was off 11 months.
full months.
Yeah, I was off 11 months. I came back to 2 District. The job was very good to me. Lots and lots of support. CPA, people in my office, just amazing people. Like we talk about this job, and there's people you don't like on the job, and there's people that are whiners on the job, and there's people that complain about the job. But when the chips are down, I can tell you right now, like when you need help, people come. They do.
With that in mind, I think we have to make a special mention to Sergeant Bowen and Inspector Shannon Scott.
Yeah, they were awesome.
That's leadership. They're coming to you when you need help to take away the stuff that you shouldn't have to deal with.
Yeah, Sean was awesome. He kept in contact with me, and Shannon Scott did. And then Shannon left our district to go to a specialty unit and still stayed in contact with me. All the guys in my office stayed in contact with me. I would meet like all the guys in PSU or my office every couple of weeks for a coffee. So I would just, if they were sick, I'd stay away from them because obviously I was going through chemotherapy, but then just meet them for a coffee and just keep them updated so they could see my progress as well. And I returned back to the same district in the same office, doing a different role, and then back in 2 District. So
what role are you doing now in 2?
Well, I was a CRO for a long time, which accommodated the way I could do PSU and search
Community
management.
resource officer?
I did that for 9 years.
Wow.
9 years, a long time working in communities. And then now I'm working in the community engagement response team. So I'm the HSU, High Systems User Coordinator for CERT for 2 District. So I work with a team of 4 and a sergeant, and we deal with all of the community response issues, everything from encampments. We have interventions with people who have addictions and homelessness and try and get them all the resources and help. Yeah.
Thank you so much, for being so vulnerable and sharing this really extremely personal story with us. I think it's going to inspire people to when they're going through something hard.
Yeah.
You've had such an incredible life, and you're such an interesting guy. I feel like we could go on for another 2 hours.
We really could, because in our pre-meet, there's a whole bunch of other stories that we weren't even able to get into.
He was telling stories just like before we sat down here. Like, can we get that in them?
Yeah.
Anyways, thank you so much for sharing just a tiny bit of your life.
Brother. It's been
it was
great.
a pleasure having you here.
Anytime.